Hello and welcome to the last of our Telecom Innovation series. I'm Minnie Menon, and today we're talking about how innovation can succeed in both the global and the rural marketplace. Joining me to discuss all of this is Sunil Sukheja, Director at Procurement at Huawei, Brij Juneja, Global HR Head and Business Head for Nepal and Bangladesh at Microcool, and Bhupesh Daheria, Director, Aegis School of Business and Telecommunications. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. It's a very important topic that I think every telecom service provider is grappling with today at a time when costs are going up, revenues are coming down, and innovation is no longer a nice word, but really something which is crucial for business development. Let me start off with you, Bhupesh, since you are have a more academic take on this. How do you see this whole business of innovation taking forth from here?
You know, if we see what is driving innovation, like you can define the industry and the innovation with single equation. You have a profit margin, and that equals to your revenue per minute and your cost per minute. So the revenue per minute in the voice business is continuously going down if we see in last 10 years. So there is only one way to remain competitive in the market is to reduce your cost. Now this cost reduction has led to the outsourcing business model, IT outsourcing infrastructure model like Bharti has done with the IBM, then tower infrastructure sharing model, then technology innovation like Huawei has done the technology innovation or Microcool has done the technology innovation in terms of like making the systems compact systems or better systems which can really offer you better bandwidth. So this is one piece in terms of voice business. The other model is your data model. In data model, what is happening? Your cost, you have to reduce down the cost, but your revenue per minute is going up.
Sure.
Right? So now you have to really take a trade-off how much revenue you would like to have from your voice business and how much revenue you would like to have from your data business. Whether it has to be 90% vis-a-vis 10% or other way around. But it makes sense that you reduce down your dependency on the voice business and increase the revenue on the data business. So all the innovations, whatever innovations we are talking about, it surrounds on these two equations.
And Bhupesh, that's also something that has come out in the series where technology is being seen not only as an enabler but as also a means to actually bring down costs and add to the revenue. So the whole voice to data equation is changing. Mr. Sukheja, let me come to you.
Yeah.
Huawei internationally is known for being very aggressive in the market. It does all the network solutions for the biggest service providers, and you've got operations across the country and in Europe and pretty much all the geographies. You're soon going to be the biggest player in the space. How are you driving innovation? Because you're one of the lowest cost suppliers of the service rollout. How do you manage to do that?
Huawei is a big company now, present all across the globe now, and it is continuously engaged in doing innovations. If you just see Huawei BTS is the most compact BTS, that is the advantage in the space benefit. Similarly, Huawei is coming with a lot of other innovations in the market, Along with this compact BTS, now Huawei is also trying to give a better compact solutions to the operators. Huawei itself is integrating one solution where the solar, they are making an integrated solution with the solar energy, creativity, some others, and then we are giving a one complete solution, one build-up site, including towers, shelters, and then this way I think is one of the innovation.
Brij, what is clear is innovation and intelligence is going to be the key for any kind of innovative, growth from here for pretty much all the service providers like all of you who are dependent on this industry growing. What has your own experience been at Microsoft?
I want to differentiate the two things which you've said. One is intelligence and the other thing is innovation. Intelligence is basically looking at thinking out of the box. We as a solution provider, we go back to OEMs or directly to the operators and able to give them solutions wherein we are able to reduce the capital cost and the operating costs over a period of time. And this basically what we have done along with the OEMs like Huawei, Ericsson. We have actually demonstrated how an operating cost and the capex cost can be reduced by about 50%. In fact, operating costs can be reduced further by about 60%. By giving them innovative solutions It's not that we've thought really, it's not rocket science. We've just tried to apply our mind and use the resources that are available in the country today. The entire country today is talking about green energy. The entire country is talking about using of the current resources within the. You have this happening in the US, you have it happening in Europe. So we tried to replicate that and went back to the operator. Like for example, we've implemented the power tower. What we've done is we've already bagged the tender of 3 states from Power Grid Corporation, wherein we've taken their towers on lease, installing the telecom infrastructure on these towers, and giving this on a leasing model to the operator. As a result, now the operator does not require to have the entire setup. The genset is not required. The battery bank is not required. You don't require to have air conditioners. You just have an open air BTS installed there between the 4 legs of those towers, and the thing is firing. Sure. So look at the cost that is reduced.
That's quite innovative, because I mean, what you can do is piggyback on the kind of power grid, network across the country. I mean, this is a solution that one could have thought of earlier, because this would substantially bring down costs, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're virtually replicating. In fact, we've got already a model site already there in Bangalore in a place called Kola.
So how scalable is this?
We basically have a target in next about in a month and a half. We would have 50 sites in the rural area, because if you look at, as my friend said, Sunil Sukeja, what he said was about 60% virtually is there, teledensity is there. Now what's left is only the rural market, and the power grid lines run through the rural area itself. So we're trying to encash on that and try and offer these on lease to the operator.
Okay. I'm going to talk about in the next segment how innovation is driving growth in pretty much all the problem areas in telecom, and one by one we list through that. But on the whole, Bhupesh, if you're looking at the Indian market, we've seen very, very heady growth, very fast evolution, and yet we've got some very homegrown ideas which have come forth. Because, for example, tower sharing, companies coming together to innovate, riding on the power backbone of India, power grid backbone of India. What is driving this? Is it that India has unique problems, unique geographies, and hence unique solutions?
Like as Brij mentioned, it's not about intelligence. It's about using your common sense. So the innovation here in India is necessity. So we use a terminology called jugaad, right? So wherever we find that, yes, we need to really cut down our costs, the margins are really under fire, we apply our little brain, we use the common sense, and we apply, right? And sometimes we don't hesitate in terms of copying the best practices which are available around the world. So, like if we see that the margins are going down, right? So it's a common sense that yes, you need to really improve your operational efficiency. So what you're going to do? To improve your operational efficiency, you will give this network to somebody who's expert on that and who's expert in managing your network. A vendor who is developing that technology. So naturally it's Huawei or JT or Alcatel-Lucent or NSN or Ericsson. So Indian operators like Bharti, they have decided that managing technology or managing network is not our business. So let's give it to the vendors.
Sure.
They will bring in the operational efficiency. So that is how the network outsourcing model has come up. The IT outsourcing model, it has come up in similar fashion. They have given them to IBM.
This reversal of what we saw in the IT industry, actually.
Right.
And as I say, jugaad is soon going to be in the English dictionary. It's already in the management book. So that's something that we can talk about. We head into a short break. We'll come back and talk about specific problems and how innovation has actually helped out in that, or could do something there. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching our special series. Gentlemen, the telecom industry, we've identified the various issues over there, the whole rural rollout challenge that most telecom companies are facing. Amidst all of this, they're facing other challenges of dropping ARPUs or average revenue per users, of infrastructure being a little bit of a problem, of the fact that they've spent so much of money on bandwidth and technology that they now don't have money left over there. But let's look at what innovation can do, say, in the new challenging areas, for example, in the rural rollout. Let's talk about that, because that becomes the next bastion, because over there intrinsically ARPUs are lower. So there is also cost constraint.
Exactly. As I said, these rural areas are the most potential areas for the covering this GSM services, mobile services. So there are a lot of challenges. Like I said, infrastructure is a big concern. And then apart from infrastructure, we have to also take care of the other needs, like we have to give proper electricity there, we have to give cheaper electricity there, and then we have to also see that diesel pilferage is a big issue. Even in the urban area, we see, we find big problems there. So how to come across solution of these problems? So it depends on the government policies. How come we provide better policies to come over these problems and give a better solution, so that operators are also willing to the rural area. Now, if you see, just there are practical problems. ARPU is low in the why? Because a common villager, he is not willing to spend much. His earning capacity is less. So we have to also see from that angle that we have to increase the ARPU there. We have to give the better facilities, and the operators are willing to go there and build network there. This is a way, if these problems are taken care, there's a good way forward to create.
Bhupesh, earlier when we were sitting outside, you were talking about how the Maharashtra State Electricity Board is using the entire electricity grid to allow optical fibers to go through. Brij mentioned how the power grid is being used. Are these solutions the only way out, considering the kind of challenges over there?
Yes, like this is way you can really roll out your network fast. You can reduce down your costs. For example, like if you have to erect a tower to put the BTS, your antenna, right? It requires land acquisition. You need to put in a lot of steel, right? And putting up one tower costs you something around 50 lakh rupees, right? And India needs the way we are going ahead with 3G and 4G. We need additional 1 lakh towers, and that's a huge investment. So rather than using that path, what we can do, we can use these towers, electric poles, the way Microcoil is doing, put BTS over there. So you need not to erect a tower. So already that infrastructure is ready. You just need to go over there, put a BTS, put your optical fiber cable, right, and roll out your network.
Sure.
It's a more efficient way.
What are the other innovative ideas that can really help in that exponential growth going forward?
Look, one part is infrastructure. The other part is you have to really think about the business model, right? The business model, like if you see in rural area, there are around 720 million people are living there, right? In almost 630,000 villages. And that covers almost 50% of the GDP. And they have money. The only thing, their per capita income per user cannot spend the way they can spend in the urban area.
Sure.
So what we need to do, a farmer who is not educated, who cannot read what is written on the mobile phone, he just knows if you press this green button, it will put your call through, and if you press this red button, it will cut your call. So in that situation, if you ask him to type SMS to find out the rates of the potato in some other mandi, no, it's not possible. So the companies need to come up with the innovations, and that innovations are already there in the market, right? Wherein he can talk to his phone, Aloo ke bhav kahan hai, right? In his own language, and this phone should be able to talk to him. And if he is able to really get a better price for his crop, he will earn money, and in a way the ARPU will go up.
Sure.
And a rural area, if he is able to really make money, he is willing to really invest 50%, more than 50%, he can pay back to you. So the companies need to really use the existing technologies. The companies need to think in a different way. Like since there is no electricity, the handset manufacturer, they need to really come up with a high battery backup. Like you cannot really